When I first saw this drawing, the first thing that came to my mind was a Cupid aesthetic with a pastel color palette. So, my main goal was to use only pastel colors throughout the entire artwork and not use any other color family. I started with the base colors, a soft pastel pink for the skin, and a pastel blue for the hair. Then I began adding shadows around the face to lift the features and give the face more dimension. After that, I moved on to the eyes. At first, I chose a purplish pink eyeshadow with purple eyebrows. The contrast looked really nice, but then I thought, why not try something different? So I experimented with a heterochromia look where one eye was pink and the other was a soft gray. It actually turned out really well, and I even added pink eyelashes to match. Now I had two options, the original purplish pink eyes or the heterochromia eyes. Since I couldn't decide which one looked better, I decided to leave it until the very end and continue with the rest of the drawing. Next, I added freckles. I didn't want the freckles to look plain or boring, so instead of using just one color, I used pastel pink, pastel blue, and a bit of purple to make them more playful and unique. Then I wanted the face to stand out a little more, so I deepened the shadows, added soft highlights, and adjusted the overall skin tone. After that, I cleaned up all the colors that were blending outside the face and into the hair by erasing the excess and sharpening the edges. Then I moved on to the lips. My first idea was to use a pastel lip color, but it didn't really match the Cupid aesthetic I had imagined. So I decided to go for a nude lip instead. It actually took me quite a few tries to get the right shade. I even tried a Korean gradient lip style, but it still wasn't giving the look I wanted. Finally, I found the perfect combination, a nude lip with slightly darker brown corners, and that was exactly the vibe I was looking for. After finishing the lips, I started thinking about the background. I knew I wanted it to stay within the pastel theme, but I couldn't decide on the colors yet, so I left it for the end. Next, I went back to the hair. I deepened the pastel blue, added more shadows, and then realized that the heterochromia eyes didn't match the overall aesthetic as well as I had hoped. So I finally chose my original purplish pink eye design and made that the final eye color. Then I added shimmer highlights to the tip of the nose, the inner corners of the eyes, the lips, and even the piercings to give the artwork a soft glowing effect. One problem I noticed was that the eyelids were blending too much with the base skin color. So I erased that area, but it turned completely white, which looked too harsh. To fix it, I lightly applied a soft peach pastel shade so it blended naturally without being too noticeable. Then I refined the eyeshadow, keeping it simple but elegant, and added a few subtle highlights. Now came the trickiest part, the bandage. At first, I thought about using pink or purple to match the palette, but I realized it would make everything look too repetitive. So instead, I chose a contrasting pastel greenish yellow. Surprisingly, it blended perfectly with the overall color palette without standing out too much. After that, I darkened the eyebrows, eyes, and eyelashes because the bandage had become the main focus, while the eyes looked too light in comparison. Since I had decided not to keep the heterochromia look anymore, I also changed the pink eyelashes to a soft purplish blue, which balanced the whole face much better. With the face complete, I added shadows to the ears and finished the ear piercings. Then I returned to the hair once again. I highlighted it using a darker pastel blue, blended everything smoothly, and repeated the process until I was happy with it. Since I had already added shimmer to the lips and eyes, I wanted the hair to glow as well. So I added soft white highlights to create that dreamy finish.
It was another tricky decision because I didn't want to use purple again, and using blue would blend too much with the hair. So I chose a soft pastel orange instead. I added darker shades for the shadows and finished it off with a few subtle highlights. Finally, I came back to the background. I was really confused about what color to choose because using another pastel background made the whole drawing feel too flat.